Get ready to get real with the minister, Jonathan Simmons, on Real Talk Sports, 1570 WIGO, bringing a different perspective to sports journalism.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back to another live episode of the Real Talk Sports Show. And I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we are broadcasting to you here live on Atlanta's Incredible Radio, WIGO 1570 on the dial. So we thank God for you guys who have joined us here in the middle of the activity. So we thank God for that. And we'll go around the booth. We're getting everything hooked up here for Facebook Live and Periscope. We got a lot of stuff going on here in the booth. As we always do, is we try to bring you multimedia, bringing you Periscope, bringing you Facebook Live, and at some point we might even try an Instagram as well. And for those of you on Facebook Live, you will be able to hear our interviews later on in the broadcast. I'm sorry, those of you on Periscope, right now we are experiencing some mild technical difficulties, and we will not be able to log you on to hear our guest. But you can hear us. Amen. All right, we're going to go around the booth here. Sitting right next to me, as you guys know, he's a deacon in his church, but for some reason he's a bad man when he comes here. Mr. Miles T. is in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, sitting across from me, he is wrapping up his he's getting down to be the final appearance here on the Real Talk Sports Show, a guy that started when he was just, I think, 16 years old. 16. He's 17 now.
Yep.
Amen. So he's moved along now. Now he's heading off to college. Reggie Brown is in the building.
Yes, sir. Excited to get into it and talk some sports.
That's right. Well, he plied his trade on a place called the Flats, Georgia Tech's Bobby Dodd Stadium, one of the greatest players ever to lace him up for Georgia Tech and for the ACC. Back in those days, they called him Captain America. I still call him the Capitan now. Ken Swilling is in the building.
Hello, sir. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good. Mr. Ken, somehow you look different today. Normally the lovely Miss Vassier is sitting next to you.
It ain't the same, man. It just ain't the same, man.
Right.
It ain't the same.
No disrespect to you, Reggie.
No disrespect to Reggie.
Right, but
this thing, Vassier, girl, if you're out there, in the world, you know what I'm saying?
You need to hurry on.
I mean, you need to hurry on back home now. You need to come home now.
That's it. Captain is calling. So you need to come on back. Come on back home,
Quit
please.
playing.
Well, as you guys know, a lot of good stuff happened this weekend.
Yes.
It was a weekend of championships, as I talked about on the Daily Dose of Sports, and everybody seemed to have come home with the big trophy. Everybody got it done, and we want to give a big shout out, and I'm just going to let you guys know now. You guys can check it on social media. We do have an update. We will once again have the president of the Georgia Swarm, Andy Arlotta, will be joining us in the final segment, 8:45, to talk about the tremendous victory that the Georgia Swarm pulled off, winning Atlanta's first championship for a professional sports team in over 20 years. Let's give them a round of applause.
It's about time.
About time. Amen. Y'all can't say anything about the Swarm.
Wrong with that. You can't say anything about them.
Can't say a thing about them as they pulled off a 15-14 overtime victory. Controversial victory, which we'll get into in Andy's segment. But, again, we just want to give a shout-out to him and all the guys there at the Hive, as the Swarm are now the NLL world champions. Well, the other thing we saw here is the Braves. The bats are still hot, Ken. I mean, I think they hit 5 homers.
Yeah, they did.
Last night.
Last night they hit 5.
Right, and 2 for the Big Bopper. That's what I'm going to call him now, the Big Bopper, Matt Adams.
Hey, I want them to find a way to keep him in the lineup when Freddie comes back. I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think he's got a good enough glove to play at third. But I tell you, this kid has really showed, and sometimes that's what it takes. It takes a guy getting an opportunity.
Right. And
the opportunity kind of presented itself, and he's taken full advantage of the opportunity that's been presented to him. So if young kids out there watching and you want to be a successful ball player, you want to be whatever, Matt Adams is. If you look at his history and where he came from, and he was being barely used over where he came from. I believe he was with the Cardinals, right?
He was with the Cardinals. That's right. Yep.
And they didn't really have a spot for him. He got traded to Atlanta and came here. Has been Johnny on the spot for the Braves. So you can't deny that.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, and really what he brings them is a big left-handed bat. The thing about Adams is that really – and we saw this as Brian talked to us when he normally comes on. He talked about the fact that he did this for the Cardinals. Just that when you had a lineup that's packed that way, Cardinals a perennial winner, there was just no room to put him anywhere.
Right.
So they had a wealth of talent, and now the Braves have a guy that I think that he's obviously not going to play as nowhere near as much, obviously, when Freddie's back. But, this to have a big bopper on that bench as a pinch hitter,
right,
to come up to go against certain right-handers, we stack that lineup. They might, I guess, maybe have to put him in right field, possibly. I'm not sure, but I'm sure you're going to still continue to see him in the lineup as the season goes forward. Well, the other big news here in Atlanta, and we're going to kind of talk about this a little bit. Michael Vick and Roddy White, it's official. Kind of.
About 75%.
Right. It's official, kind of. Bottom line is that Mr. Blank felt that there was no need to go through the official, one-day signing of a contract. He felt that both of these gentlemen were going to be true to their word and they were going to stay retired. And I think that they are a very moving and sometimes very funny moments. I actually had the great privilege to be at the press conference, and so we're going to play a couple of clips from that. And just listening to these guys talk and then watching the highlight reel. That was the biggest thing. Watching the highlight reel, all those memories flooded back. Right. First of Roddy, because we obviously are seeing what Julio Jones is doing, but people forget that Roddy White actually one year led the NFL in receptions. I didn't even know that.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I'm giving you both some side eye.
That was like his third or fourth year in the league?
Fourth year, because his first couple of years.
He had dropsies.
Right.
He couldn't catch a cold.
Couldn't catch anything. So, but he finally got himself together. And interestingly enough, he actually gave kudos to Coach Bobby Petrino as getting him jump-started, because a lot of people may or may not know that as Mike was leaving, that's when Roddy really kind of hit his stride, and he said that Coach Patino pulled him over. That's not right. Hold on a second. Well, I'm thinking about Petrino. Let me get it with an R. Right.
Okay.
Coach Petrino.
We don't have to call his name ever.
Right.
It's okay.
But anyway, Roddy said how much he did for him in terms of giving him the confidence, because he said Mike the same thing. He said Mike gave him a lot of confidence. He said Mike was the only guy that actually called him by his given name, which I didn't know what it was. I thought his name was just Roddy. His real name is Sherrod. And he said that Mike always called him Sherrod. Speaking of Mike and Roddy, we're going to go see if we can pull up the clip from Roddy White, listen to him talk about, his feelings about going into retirement and what he really will miss the most. And I think that gives you kind of, Ken, the same thing when you kind of leave the playing field. Everybody thinks it's always just you miss the hitting, but Roddy kind of talks a little bit different. And also, he kind of mentions Mr. Blank's impact as well. So hopefully we'll get that audio clip up for us in just a little bit. And I think we're ready. Roddy White, some of his comments at his retirement celebration.
But last but not least is my man, AB. I love you to death, man. You changed me and my family's life. And you did so much for me. From the first day I met you. You told me this was going to be a family environment, and every day I walked through that building, that's how I treated it. Like, everybody in there was my family, and I love them. And I expressed that each and every day by me showing up to work and just caring. I'm going to miss that locker room forever, because that was my sanctuary. And I loved it so much just being around there. A lot of times I didn't leave. I stayed in there. A lot of long nights I was in that facility, and that was part of me.
Well, those are comments by Roddy White. You're talking about all the things that he is doing there with and what he missed. And that AB he was referring to was actually Arthur Blank. That's what we call AB, and talked about his family impact on him. And, of course, what he means by that is that Mr. Blank, after his rookie contract, inked him up for quite a bit of money. And then a lot of people forget that Roddy, I think, before that contract ended, got a little balky and said, I want more money. And Mr. Blank paid him more money, and Roddy continued to perform. So kudos to Mr. Blank and all the things that are going on there. But, of course, the guy that was really, even though both men were going retired at the same time, the guy who was the man that everybody wanted to hear from was Michael Vick. And so we're going to listen to Mike Vick and listen to some of his comments about him retiring, especially the question, could he still play now? Mike Vick.
We drafted him, and I felt like the team was in good hands. As a rookie, he did some remarkable things, and we spent some time in the 2010 Pro Bowl together, and I think that's where it all kicked off. And the staff, which was Mike Smith, who was the head coach, coached the Pro Bowl, and man, we just had a great time, and I think that just kind of kick-started our friendship, relationship, and just rekindling all the flames, just from the whole organization as a whole.
How do you feel about that highlight reel? I mean, the Minnesota run is my personal favorite, but do you feel like you can maybe give it a go still?
Honestly, I really feel like I can physically, but like I told Mr. Blank earlier today, man, I have so many great memories of playing in the National Football League, and towards the end, I was starting to get tired, and I was moving around on certain teams, and I just wanted to be able to appreciate all the things that I've been able to accomplish, and I never have to look back or wonder, what if. I think I kind of went out on the top, and now I can just root and watch the game as if I was a kid all over again, and I can still dream, but I live the dream.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you can hear Ken in that. You can hear the difference between a 36-year-old Michael Vick and a 26-year-old Michael Vick.
Oh, yeah.
Big difference. Big difference.
Big difference.
Yep.
Big difference. Not just in years, but
right.
You can tell the wisdom that's come about. I was very impressed with some of the interviews that I heard with him. He's very well spoken,
yep.
And very intelligent, very thought provoking. I like he and Roddy both. Mike did something for this city that I don't think has been done since the days of Deion Sanders, even to a greater, probably a little bit greater than what Deion did. Deion kind of set it on fire here for a little while, had a nice spurt, but Mike brought the average fan that didn't know anything about football. He brought women to the game. I can just go on and on about what Mike did to the game. Because before Mike came to Atlanta, I had said I was just a football fan.
Right.
I was just a fan of football. I was too close to it.
Oh, sure.
And I didn't want to be saying that I was a homer or didn't want to root for Atlanta.
Right.
Right. And so when Mike came, man, I almost bought a jersey. But my kids had jerseys. Everybody wanted to be Mike Vick. Everybody wanted to be a part of the energy that was. I never forget going like the first time in 2007, I guess it was. We had a preseason game, and that was the first time I'd ever seen like the stadium like packed for a preseason game.
Yep.
And you could see Mike Vick jerseys from sea to sea. It was outstanding, and just to see him do what he did, and then have a misstep, get back up and correct it, and go forward and do all the things that he's been great. It gives people a chance to see that people are deserving of a second chance. When people want to put you down and want to say that it shouldn't be this, it shouldn't be that, everybody deserves at least one more chance, and Mike has done a good job with that.
I was definitely a big fan myself of Michael Vick. I'm talking about diehard. I'm talking about best quarterback I ever seen play the game on the NFL level. In my opinion, that's my opinion though. But it's sad to see him. See, I almost dropped a little tear the other day. Hearing his voice and saying I really truly believe he can still play. That's me. So
does he.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, he got a job. I mean, if Ryan Fitzpatrick can get a job, I think Michael Vick really could get a job.
So I knew it was going to go to the left.
But
I just knew.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Can we just have a somber moment?
And folks, let the man go out in some grace.
I mean, I'm just saying. I think there really is a spot out there. You just back up somewhere. Here, I mean,
he don't want to be the backup.
I'm just saying, but I mean,
okay, folks, here's what we're gonna do. The call-in line is 404-361-1571. We're gonna take a quick break of this little short one, and then we're gonna come back with more because I want to ask you guys, what do you think Mike Vick's legacy is here, and do you think he belongs in the Ring of Fame?
Oh yes, sir.
We need to hear from you. 404-361-1571. We'll be right back with the Real Talk Sports Show.
Hi there, my name is Tim Mullen, General Manager of Pinstripes Family Entertainment Center in Stockbridge. Now is the perfect time to schedule your holiday party. Big or small, we cater them all. 2 hours of bowling, shoe rental, choice of one of our freshly prepared spreads like the pasta meal or southern barbecue meal. Your holiday party is waiting for you at Pinstripes.
Pinstripes Entertainment Center, 3478 Mount Zion Road, Stockbridge. Call 770-302-0786 or online at pinstripes9.com.
This is Kent Bazemore of the Atlanta Hawks, and you're listening to Real Talk Sports.
And we are back. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show as we broadcast to you from Atlanta's incredible radio, WIGO 1570 on the dial. You also can find us broadcasting anywhere online at WIGOAM.com. You also can find us on realtalksports.net. And for those who have mobile devices, phones or whatever have you, you can find us on the free TuneIn radio application. Put in WIGO 1570 in the search engine and search for Real Talk Sports, and voila, you will find us broadcasting to you right here and right now. Remember, follow us on social media at Real Talk Sports 7. And the phone lines are open, 404-361-1571. We're talking about Michael Vick and his legacy. And I think a guy that really has probably one of the best looks at his legacy is the guy that brought him to Atlanta, the owner of the Atlanta Falcons. And he made these comments in talking about Mike Vick and what he meant to this city. So we're going to listen to Mr. Arthur Blank.
He became the face of the franchise. And obviously when you turn on the ESPN Monday morning, win or lose, you're going to see, a whole bunch of highlights from Michael. And Michael had the ability to take a game under his wing and really control it. So he was a magnificent player with huge talent. He made some bad choices. He paid his price for those choices. The great part of that story, like the great part of any story where there's human redemption involved, is that Michael has worked extraordinarily hard in giving back to the community in so many different ways, not only on issues relating to animals rights, but as importantly, relating to young people, that they have an opportunity to make better choices, to make the best choices. And he's impacted thousands and thousands of young people with that message.
Well, I don't think you can get a more impassioned speech than that by an owner that obviously had to go through with Michael the difficulty of seeing, a lot of people question his judgment, question the franchise judgment. But I got to tell you, man, from sitting there, Mr. Blank is, as much as some people wanted him to kind of close the door on Michael on multiple occasions, this is a guy that you talking about all in, he's all in, bro.
And you could tell he really cared for Mike.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't see him wheeling Mike around in the wheelchair,
yep.
It was a genuine kind of thing that you kind of felt from both of them towards each other. I wish Mike had respected the relationship a little bit better than
yep.
he did, but he made a mistake, and like Mr. Blank said, he was able to correct it and go forth from there and be a real genuine kind of guy. And what Mike is doing now in the community was giving back and doing different things. Speaks volumes for itself, and it speaks to his character. And it's not a show. You can tell he's really doing things from his heart and trying to make things happen. Because there are other young people like him, who deserve that second chance.
Absolutely, guys. You can call in and join the conversation. Let us know what you think about Michael Vick's place in Falcons history. 404-361-1571. Talking Michael Vick, talking Roddy White retirement. Well, of course, the question that came up to Mr. Blank was about are both guys eligible for the Ring of Honor? And Mr. Blank really didn't answer it. He basically said, hey, we have a qualification procedure that we use. He said both these guys obviously have impacted the franchise greatly. And he said, we'll make those decisions, based on the criterion that we have in place. Because obviously there's a lot of people that are pushing back against Mike getting it. Roddy, I think, is a no-brainer. But there is some question about Mike because of the fact that people talk about the fact that his career was not, wasn't a decade. I think it was basically five or 6 years total. Mm-hmm. The fact that it ended here not well, a lot of people feel that, he doesn't deserve it. What do you guys think?
I think he does deserve it. You talked about giving out second chances, and that's just the type of owner Arthur Blank is. You see it, a lot of these other owners, they don't really care for the players too much nowadays. They just see them as a way to make more money. But you can tell there's a real relationship with Michael Vick. Past his issues that he had with the dogfighting issue, I definitely think he should be in the Ring of Honor only because the way he rejuvenated that Falcons program when he got here. He made the city light up. I mean, it's something you haven't seen since when the Falcons were going to the Super Bowl this year. That was the same feel every week in, week out.
Yes, sir. And just like you said, he paid his debt to society, and he paid his dues. And his athletic ability and his play on the field, he definitely deserves his spot in the Ring of Honor. But it's out of their hands. I don't know exactly how the procedure go or the process, but first just his ability alone and what he did for the city, definitely, hands down.
I was going to say something that would be very, very interesting to me to see what the criteria exactly is,
right,
and how many others fell kind of shy of it, or accomplished all of it, or what happened with the guys that's already there, and all that good stuff. Because Dion wasn't here 10 years.
Yeah,
he played several different places.
Right.
So but Dion meant a lot to this city, and it meant a lot to he called the Dome his house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So. It's just going to be interesting to see how it goes. I think he's being very politically correct when he says we'll let everything play out and we'll let everything die. But the thing about it that I like about it is that he and Connor Roddy are joining him to Roddy's hip. If it does happen,
right?
They'll probably go in together. They'll probably do a lot of different things together, because that is a saving grace for him. That is a guy that is beloved by all. Mm-hmm. And so when they put him in the Corvette together,
yep,
they knew exactly what they were doing.
Absolutely,
the marketing people knew exactly what they were doing.
Very shrewd the way they've handled this whole thing.
And it gives people has given people time to kind of forget about all the bad stuff and kind of wash us with a new feeling. And going into a new season, going into a new stadium, and football is back in Atlanta anyway, so
yes, sir.
Not that it ever went anywhere,
right?
But it's really that kind of atmosphere and that kind of hype is here to stay. Hey, look,
I'm trying to keep it quiet.
First of all, we got a basketball segment to go to. I'm trying to be as diplomatic, as nice as I can be. But if you keep snickering and carrying on, I'm gonna talk about Queen James and how they laid down.
Hey, you might as well go ahead. It's Real Talk Sports for a reason.
Well, there it is, guys. Well, listen, 44361-1571. We are going to shift now to the NBA. And we have a new champion.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Before you go to that segment.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let me ask you this. Just your opinion. Just one little one. What do y'all rank? What do y'all rank Michael Vick out of the all-time Falcons? What you've seen playing history.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Within the next 2 days, you're going to see the video clips. Like I said, I was there. You're going to see the video clips, and you're going to listen to his center at that time. And you need to go and listen to Arthur Blank's statements. He already told you, and his sentiments are pretty similar to mine. The guy was the face of the franchise,
right.
And I wasn't even a media at that time, and I had the privilege to be associated with the Falcons through work done. I cannot begin to tell you the energy that I used to feel driving into the stadium. It was something that was palpable. You could feel it.
Right.
And as soon as you got near to Atlanta, bro, the place was rocking. I mean, any word you want, lit, crunk, it was all of those. I mean, you had tailgating parties in downtown, in the street, back of the side, around the corner. And keep in mind, when Mike first came here, the Gulch was completely still just not fixed. I mean, you basically had homeless guys that had to move out of there.
Right, exactly.
Broken bottles and glass, and people were paying $50 and $60 to park on, But why? Because the energy. And you knew when you went, it's just like when the Yankees had Reggie Jackson, you knew that something was going to happen. You didn't know what, but something was going to happen.
Win or lose.
And I was there. Listen, I was there for that last playoff win they had at home when they played against the Rams. The show on turf was at that time, at the end of his run, they were, I think, 8-8 that year. They racked up 300-plus yards on the ground. And I'm going to tell you this, you couldn't even hear it coming out of the stadium. So to answer that question, yeah, I think he was one of the great Falcons of all time, if not the greatest, as far as not just only play on the field, as Ken mentioned, but also his impact on the city. And he made Mr. Blank, the reason why he's happy, a lot of money. A lot of money. They went from giving those tickets away to that being something that was scalper's delight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right, well, speaking of scalper's delight, scalpers made money Game 5 in Golden State because everybody wanted to see the coronation of the new kings of the court. And they got it. But to Cleveland's credit, they made it a little tight down the stretch. Matter of fact, had the lead down to 4, but it was not enough as Golden State, for the second time in 3 years, is the NBA champions. All right, so first question, does that now well, before we get into that, let's recap the game a little bit. Warriors came out and tried to beat the brakes off them. And at one point, I think Cleveland was down close to 20.
18 points.
It's 18 points, man.
I want you people to do this for a second.
This thing done got real. This man sour. I ain't never seen the man face like this. His face is sour.
Last time I seen it was like this. Tennessee was losing.
Ooh. I want you. So you guys on Periscope actually can see the front view of Miles. He's actually now broken into a sweat. He's fanning. You guys on Facebook can't see him too good. I'm going to have to drop that camera down a little bit so you guys can see him.
You good? Yeah, you good.
You okay? I mean, do we need to go to break or anything like that?
No,
take a moment,
I think
moment of silence.
You might need a glass of water.
I'm
129 to 120 final score. At one point down by 17. But let's talk for a second. Let's give your boy LeBron James his due. Let's give honors due. Another performance that in any other game, any other series, he still would be called a king. The guy put up a staggering 41 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, took 30 shots, and played, I think, 44 minutes. Yeah. And spent a lot of his time trying to guard the new best player in the NBA, Kevin Durant. And so his performance was – but hold on a second. Let me finish my hyperbole, please, and you can jump in. I'm trying to give LeBron credit that he played a series for the ages. The guy almost averaged a triple-double.
He averaged
a
triple-double.
Triple-double. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what he did was in uncharted territory. So kudos to him.
Oh, definitely.
But it was not enough.
It wasn't.
So,
it wasn't. I mean, the most talented team won. That's the most talented team.
Okay, what does that mean? I don't understand.
That means they're more talented, but
isn't that the way you win championships?
Just give them the credit. Just give them the credit.
Golden State was more talented for sure, but Cleveland was talented enough to win.
Okay,
they
won. They won one game.
They was talented enough to win the series, but they was too inconsistent on players. Tyronn Lue did some bad coaching.
You're not that talented.
I'm just saying, the inconsistency comes from.
Let me give people the number one more time: 404-361-1571. You listen to the Real Talk Sports Show. So let's.
Tyronn Lue did some bad. I think he really showed his true colors as a coach. I don't think he's on this level yet. I think it's more LeBron on the court than it is him with his X's and O's.
All right, so this is the same. I just want to make sure I got this right.
Same one that came from 3-1 last year.
This is the same Tyronn Lue that replaced the guy that at the time his team was about 30 games over 500 or close to that.
Same man.
Right. Was down 3 games to 1. To at that time, what everybody thought was one of the great teams in NBA history.
The team that set the record.
The greatest regular season record.
Regular season record, won 73 games. And I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Yes, sir.
That same coach.
Same man.
Got them a championship.
Same man.
The first one in Cleveland history. And now, what's that phrase again? You said he was what?
I didn't say he was a bad coach. I said he wasn't as good as I thought he was. I think it's more LeBron on the court than it is just him with his X's and O's.
Okay, well,
that's what I'm saying.
All right, well,
so you looked in the mirror this morning when you woke up and surmised that LeBron giving you a triple double and Kyrie giving you what he gave you.
Kevin Love giving you
didn't give you enough.
J.R. Smith didn't give you nothing.
Didn't give you enough.
Whoa.
Throughout the whole series.
Hold on.
Throughout the whole series.
Whole series.
Throughout the whole series.
But game 5 though.
Game 5 he gave you enough in game 5.
But that's why I was talking about the inconsistency with the players on the team. And then, like I said, I don't think Tyronn Lue was subbing good. You got a 6'11" guy that can shoot threes. Shannon Fry that didn't even play maybe 2 plays the whole series. I mean, you got 6'11" that can shoot. Long range.
Who's he going to guard out there?
Thank you.
He's too slow to guard Kevin Durant.
Well, who else was guarding Kevin Durant? He can't do no worse than what everybody else was doing.
LeBron James was guarding him all the time.
Yeah. No, LeBron wasn't on him the whole time. No, he wasn't.
Richard Jefferson was on him.
Yeah,
and Richard Jefferson
was on him.
Pretty good defense.
Shumpert played 4 minutes in the whole game 5. Shumpert, that's like a on-ball defender that. No, Shumpert only played 4 minutes.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what.
That's bad coaching to me.
You're trying to take it away from Kevin Durant. The man was playing like he wants to be the best player in the league now.
No, Kevin Durant was playing like he had 4 other All-Stars on his team, and he was playing free, and he didn't have nothing to worry about, no pressure. About 4 other All-Stars.
About 4.
Yeah, 4.
3 or 2.
Because Iguodala is an All-Star, but he hasn't made it in a while.
Starting 5 made the All-Star list.
Don't use him.
Don't use Iguodala.
Don't use him, bro.
You can say 4. You can say Draymond.
Right.
You can say Curry.
Right.
And Thompson. And you got to say Iguodala is no joke. He had 20 points last night.
History.
He had 20 last night.
Okay. All right. Well, now let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. You talked about the inconsistent play of the players. I'm trying to figure out what does it have to do with the coach.
Because I don't think like I said, Shepard was in there 4 minutes, and he wasn't switching the time and using their time. He wasn't utilizing their time right.
All right. Hey, how much you get paid to do this?
Who?
You. How
now
much you get paid?
That's why we're getting this kind of lackluster performance, because there's no payment involved. So if I paid him,
no, I'm talking about you get paid. You get paid the coach, right? You get paid the coach, right? Right. You get paid the coach. You on Cleveland staff, right?
No, I mean, if I was
at the game.
Just admit that they got outplayed, and yes. And it's killing you.
I'm a LeBron and Cleveland fan. I can say that Golden State was the better team.
They was the better team,
listen,
for sure.
We can go on this all night. We do have to do our community outreach segment, so we have to take a break.
Okay.
We'll do our community outreach segment. If we have the time, we'll revisit this again. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show here on WIGO 1570, Atlanta's Incredible Radio. Keep it locked right here. This is Minister Jonathan Simmons, host of the Real Talk Sports Show. Do you like the positive sports stories you've been hearing? Well, partner with us to help keep the good news of sports on the air. We have great audio, video, and internet advertising packages available to promote any size business or event. Contact me directly at 678-410-9833 or send me an email, sales@realtalksports.net. We'd love to partner with you to keep the good news in sports on the air.
The sun's out, the kids are home, and you're ready to make this summer one they'll never forget. Well, gather up the family and head over to Lake Winnie, the South's favorite family amusement park, and Sokia Water Park, where there's excitement for everyone. The little ones light up on the flying elephants and the bumblebee ride. Get your thrill-seeking hearts racing as you experience 4.6 G's of excitement on the Ozone or the wild flips of the Twister, and splash down on the all-new Winnie 500 racing slides. Satisfy your taste buds with a legendary funnel cake and a refreshing Coca-Cola. With so much to offer and so close to home, Lake Winnie and Sokia are the perfect place for any family to have fun together. Now open Thursday through Monday. On Mondays, one parent, 21 or older, receives free admission with 2 children paying full price. Sponsored by EPV Fiber Optics. For more information, call 877-525-3946 or visit lakewinnie.com.
This is Harry Douglas, and you're listening to Real Talk Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, wow. Y'all looking good. God looks good. It's not your hair, it's not your clothes, no.
Atlanta's own Kenton Jones. God looks good on you. It's not your hair, not your clothes, but it's the Spirit of God living inside of you. Well, we always do a community outreach segment where that's what we try to focus on. We try to focus on the inner beauty and not just, kind of what people are wearing, what they have on. But I would be untruthful to say that our guest right now for the first part of our community segment, she actually is blessed to be not only beautiful on the inside, but she's very lovely on the outside. She has joined us many times here on the show. Our good friend, our good buddy, Miss Lily Young, the Purple Cinderella. Welcome back, sister.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. And hey, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, now, Lily, unfortunately, I will say this. Everybody was excited, but then they realized you weren't coming, and there were frowns all around. So everybody's disappointed. So we'll have to get you back out here to join us in the booth. That's right. Well, listen, tell us what you got going on this Saturday, because we are partnering with you, and you got something big coming up. Big.
Yes, I have a huge celebration coming up this Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Lily Young, the Purple Cinderella, welcomes greatness.
Well, this is pretty exciting.
Willie Bertano, y'all got to be there. It's going to be a great celebration for him. He's going to give his great testimony, and I will give mine, and we're going to just celebrate and eat well and have some drinks.
Now, here's the other thing I heard. I heard that you actually, this thing has gotten so big, it's went worldwide. You have a huge media influencer from London. Is that what I see coming to the event?
Yes.
Man, Miss Jen Steele. You can follow her. I think
she'll be in the building
right
this Saturday. Y'all got to come. You got to meet her. Get your tickets on Eventbrite. You can go to my Instagram at Lily Young. Click on the link that's in my bio. Get your tickets. You don't want to miss it. Tickets are only $12, and then Eventbrite has a fee on there. But with the fee, I think it's like $13.65. That's such a good price. You can't beat what you're going to be getting.
You're really not. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, there's a serious aspect to it as well. Hearing about the great testimony that you've had in your life and how God has really, done so many things with you over the years. And really, I remember when you first told me the story, I was taken aback because, certainly without, getting into a huge detail, you have really a very severe childhood and even up into your young adult life. So just exciting that you, not just went through, but overcome child abuse, sex abuse, all these kind of things. And really, it's like that old song, you don't look like what you went through, for sure.
And I thank God.
Amen. Great blessing. Well, again, one more time, where can people come out and have a good time on Saturday for a cause?
It's an amazing cause. It's advocates for rape and abuse and domestic violence. You don't want to miss it. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The Welcome of Greatness of Julian Bertano. You don't want to miss it. He's on television, Greenleaf. He's on Fox TV, Shots Fired. He's such an amazing man. He's a man of God, a great father. What a great man. You got to meet him. His greatness will be upon you. This coming Saturday, you must be in the building. Get your tickets now.
And one more time, what's the location where people can come on out and join us?
They can get the location when they purchase their tickets.
I like how you do that. You got to do it, folks. You got to log on.
You have to get your tickets to get the location.
All right, so there you go right there. And again, they're going to Eventbrite, and they also can get the link from your website as well. Is that correct?
They can get it from my website as well.
There you go. And that website is
www.thepurplecinderella.com. Or you can go to social media at Lily Young and click the link to get your tickets as well. They're on Eventbrite.
That's right, guys. A great event. Join us as we come out there. WIGO and Real Talk Sports are media sponsors. That's correct.
Support minister.
So come on out. We'll have a good time, and we won't throw you under the bus. Come on out. Have a good time.
Come on out and have a good time
at a beautiful venue.
Have a couple of drinks. Enjoy yourself.
Yep. When you guys click on the Eventbrite, you'll see it's a really, really nice location. A great place to come and meet and greet and to, again, hear some great testimony, have a great time in Buckhead, just outside of Atlanta. All right, Ms. Lily, we appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to having you on again soon.
I'll see you Saturday. Bye-bye.
That's Lily Young, the beautiful Purple Cinderella, back in the building. Even the young gun head was nodding like, yes, she's very nice. And she is.
She is. She's
very nice lady. Yep.
Very nice.
And we enjoy her when she comes. We were going to have Lamont Langford join us from the Georgia Amateur Boxing Association. He also has an event going on that same day, a little bit earlier. He has the champ, Evander Holyfield, is going to be meeting him. They're going to be bowling to raise some funds for the Georgia Amateur Boxing Association. Is going to be at Fayetteville, Georgia. You can go, again, speaking of information, go on to our website and take a look. Actually, follow me on social media at Real Talk Sports 7. You'll see some information there, and we'll go ahead and repost that on our website as well. But Lamont Langford, we thank God for him and all he's doing in the world of boxing. Ken, that's one of the things I think they're trying to bring back with the Police Athletic League and things like that. Get kind of kids re-engaged with, some familiarity with the police. And the same thing, the police, get them back engaged with the community a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thought and a good ideal, and I think it bodes well for everybody that is involved. When we see those who are policing us, involved in the community and otherwise, when they're not necessarily in police activity.
Just saying,
but it helps to curtail the things that that go on, and we know how we have had to. I know myself, I've had to kind of retrain my children what to do, what not to do, and had to retrain myself what to do and what not to do. I'm a rather large individual, so,
so I get a little nervous.
I don't want no officer, being nervous. I'm as humble. My voice goes really low and slow when
the bass come out your voice. Yeah, the bass.
No. The bass doesn't come out. I just say, officer, this, that, and the other. What would you like to see?
No emotion. Just explain what's
going
on.
No emotion.
Right? Yep.
Just very, very plain, very bass. Because I don't need no problem. I don't need nobody telling someone he looked like he had some. And anybody that know me know I don't carry guns.
Me neither, bro. Right.
The
only weapon the preacher got is the word of God.
That's it.
And so if that can't do it, then we all in a situation. Well, listen, guys, you can join us. Phone lines are back open again. 404-361-1571. You listen to the Real Talk Sports Show as we broadcast to you on the Stellar Award-winning station for major gospel markets, WIGO 1570.
Yes.
That's how we do it right here.
That's all right.
Well, I can ask a question, guys. And we talked already about, the new champion.
Yes.
And that team.
Yes.
And we talked about the players on the other team.
Yes.
And so now the question is this. What do the Hawks need to do to actually get in the mix?
Can I say, hold.
Is that how we going to do it?
First of all, we're not telling jokes in here. It's not fun time.
That was funny.
However,
that was funny.
Minister, I had that question myself. I said, when you look at what we just witnessed
right.
as a final,
right,
and Cleveland has been at the top of the heat for the last 3 or 4 years, whatever it is.
Correct.
And you look at what the Hawks have assembled. Oh, man, we're not close. I just had to keep it real. We talking real sports. We are not close. I think we're a long ways away from where we need to be and what we need to do to get going.
See, at this point in time with the Hawks, I think with this NBA, you just gotta sit back. Do what the Lakers did back when Jordan was in his prime. They knew they weren't going to be able to compete with Jordan and that team, so they waited. They built a decent squad, and they went after that championship player in the next couple of years. That's what I think the Hawks need to do. Mm-hmm. Back when the Warriors are starting to go down a little bit, Kevin Durant get a little older, Steph Curry gets a little older. It's gonna be a while for them to compete. But if you go around, wait your turn, get that championship player, I think the Hawks may be able to do something.
Well, what they don't need to do is have Dwight Howard practicing threes.
Well,
why not?
I know it sounds funny,
he
but
can't make free throws.
That was actually the rumor that Dwight had been seen practicing three-pointers. Now, I'm trying to keep Ken still in the seat, but this is what they did. And the thinking is that if Dwight could somehow get any ability to shoot face up.
I got high blood pressure already. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nothing else over here. Dwight need to stay on the post. He need to stay down low. He need to keep working on your foul shots.
Yeah, that's what we need to start there.
Start right there.
Don't crawl before we walk.
Don't start 25 feet away. Start 5 feet away, and we'll see if he can evolve his game a little bit more in the upcoming season.
I think at the end of the day, again, they are trying to get Dwight to be more of a face-up guy, to get him at least to be able to shoot from not necessarily 5, at least 10 feet away, some type of reasonable jumper or jump hook or something that will at least get a little respect out of his game. So,
but last time Dwight had a jump hook? Last time he had a jump hook, don't you?
Never.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave that alone. I'm just going to remind you guys. I'll remind you guys of something, okay? And I know it's not the same, but I will remind you that a couple of years ago, there was a very, very powerful team that went to the Super Bowl, and they had a guy that in his position, a lot of people say if he's not the GOAT, he's one of the top 3 to 5 players at his position. They played against a young, extremely talented team, bad it seemed like every position. They beat the brakes off them. Remember Seattle they beat Denver 43-8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, Denver, with a Peyton Manning that really wasn't playing that well, they mysteriously got to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not comparing because we know we had the best defense in the league. I get it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, as you know, Ken, you got to play the game on the field. You got to play out there. And the Hawks have been, to their credit, even with, you can look at me side-eye if you want, but to their credit, they have at least
You're going too far on that one. You're going too far. Saying that they can go.
That's why that fly flying around. You ain't been up.
I understand that you want your credentials to go down there to the Hall game and all that stuff.
Like that now?
But you can't put you can't turn a sow's ear into a silk purse.
Well, listen, hang on a second. Hang on.
And I know I might be a little country, but I understand. You can't do that.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to a break because we have our featured guest for the evening that is now on the line. So we're going to take a quick break. When you come back, we're going to talk to a man that knows what it is to be a winner.
Oh, right.
That's what I'm talking about.
About time.
ACL.
Hello, this is Minister Jonathan Simmons. Everybody needs to be encouraged and inspired, and that's why I'm inviting you to join me on the Clarion Call broadcast every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. here on Atlanta's Incredible Radio, WIGO 1570. The show brings you inspiration from the Word of God and information from great guests to help you make it through the week. It's the Clarion Call Show, Wednesdays, 9:30 a.m. here on WIGO. You can also listen on your mobile device with the free TuneIn Radio application. Remember to check us out online at www.clarioncallshow.com.
Attention promoters, event organizers, and committees. If you're looking for a place to have your next big event, you must check out the C Room Multiplex. The C Room Multiplex cordially invites you to book your next artist or to host your next big event at the C Room, specializing in the following areas: CD release parties, showcases, fashion shows, movie premieres, birthday celebrations, wedding receptions, banquets, pastors' anniversaries, special events, and more. At the C Room Multiplex, we also offer catering and decorating packages. For more information, call us 678-823-5124. That's 678-823-5124. Or visit us on the web at croomatlanta.com. That's c-roomatlanta.com. The C Room is Atlanta's premier Christian entertainment venue. The C Room, 4013A Jonesboro Road, Forest Park, Georgia. Mention this ad for special pricing.
This is Harry Douglas, and you're listening to Real Talk Sports.
And we are back. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show as we broadcast to you from Atlanta's incredible radio, WIGO 1570 on the AM dial. Phone lines are back open now, 404-361-1571. We thank all those of you who logged on to Facebook Live. We appreciate each and every one of you. We also appreciate the people on Periscope, not just you guys who watch us live, but also guys that watch us on the replay. So we thank God for each and every one of you. Well, you know, it's been a long time in the metro Atlanta area since we've been able to say the words, "We are the champions."
My friend.
And well, I didn't need you to necessarily get in the chorus, but that's true. But for the first time in 22 years, since the 1995 World Champion Braves, we can say that we are the champions. And the reason why we can do it is because the indoor lacrosse team from the National Lacrosse League, the Georgia Swarm, has brought home the title. And guess who we got in the building, guys?
Top dog.
The top dog himself, the main man, Mr. Andy Arlotta. Welcome back, kind sir.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, listen, your voice still sounds like it's been impacted, sir. Well, listen, have your feet been able to hit the ground yet?
You know, I've always wondered what it would be like, and actually, there's more work going on than there was before this. So no, they have not hit the ground yet, and it's just a special time right now. It's a special time for the fans in Georgia here, and it's a special time for our family and the people that work in the organization. We've been at this for 9 years. Our franchise has been around for 13 years, and we were the only team left in the league that hadn't won a world championship.
Wow.
And, that changed on Saturday night, and it's pretty neat.
But it's got to be really something here because, as you mentioned, you guys have been doing this for a while. But as far as Atlanta, this is only your, I believe, your second or third year here in the city?
Second year.
Second year in the city. And you guys went from having, your first season, I think you guys just under 500, but then this year burst out and had one of the best records in the league, the number one offense in the league, and turned that into a world title. So, again, man, just what was really for you the turning point, do you think, from management that you guys kind of said, you know what, we might have something here?
Yeah, it was. I knew we had a good team. That's something that was being built up for the last 6 years.
Okay.
Last year we brought on a coaching staff, and we parted way with one of our coaches this year, and we brought in a replacement. And we knew we were a good team. It was, for me personally, it was the playoffs. Going up against Toronto in the first round, they're a really tough team. They're hard-nosed. They're a little bit dirty of a team to play. And
they did get a little chippy. Yeah.
What's that?
It got a little chippy. I was at that game. It got a little chippy, and I was saying I hope cooler heads will prevail, no question.
Yeah, and I thought I actually thought they were a tougher team for us. But getting into the finals there and just watching this team, the grit that these guys had and the will and the desire they had to. There's been a lot of games where we've come from behind, and we were leading most of this game by 2 goals until late in the fourth period, and we got down by a few goals. And there was 2.4 seconds left on the clock in the fourth quarter when we tied this up. So it was, it's part of the testimony, that's for sure.
Being the champions that you guys are, is there any championship type of advice you can give these other teams in Atlanta to change something around the organization?
I like to stay away from that. I'm still learning. There's a lot of people out there that are much more educated than I am. We just, the thing was for us is just putting in the hard work, and you always need a little luck, but just sticking with it. We had 6 years ago when we started to put this team together, we had a plan and a vision, and we've gone through 6 really tough years, and that vision and that plan, sticking with it and seeing it flourish into what it did was incredible.
Well, Coach, you talk about a little luck. For a lot of the uninitiated fans, I have to put myself in this as well. The final seconds of that game were very confusing to us, and I think even to the fans of Saskatchewan. But it was explained to me later that what the rush did was the norm in lacrosse. But it was a shock to see a team who actually was ahead by a goal pull their goalie. So that was the thing that was very confusing to us. And I guess that's the normal thing that you do when you're in that kind of situation to try to even out the number of players on the team.
Yeah, what happened was there was 9 seconds left and there was a stoppage in play. What they did is they pulled their goalie so they would have an extra runner.
Right.
So we couldn't come in and double team someone. They'd have that extra runner so that there would be one guy out there that wouldn't have a defensive player on him.
Sure.
And typically that works. It's a play that we actually practice every practice.
Wow.
And just to be ready for that situation. Now, when I talk about the little luck, well, one of your top players in the league fumbled the ball.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And our guys were able to get it and go in and score.
Yeah, I know that you guys have to been ecstatic because really, obviously you lose that game. I mean, you come back here, but all the guys that I talked to afterwards all said the same thing. Yes, we're very excited about the home crowd. Yes, obviously any team likes to win a championship at home, but we want to take care of business now because this Rush team is a very good team.
Yeah, you could see that in the players. They as much as every team wants to win a championship at home, these guys are ready to just win it. And a lot of them have been working at it for a long time. Our goalie, who's been in the league 13 years, it was one of the reasons why he came to Georgia. He felt this would be the team, and he's a top goalie in the league. He felt this was the team where he could have an opportunity to win a championship. I later on heard him, giving a little speech, and he actually thought it was going to be a 2-year process. So he beat his projection.
And how clutch was he? Because one of the things that we talked about in the post game with Mike in both the 2 games that we were there is that he seemed to have the uncanny ability to make the clutch save when you absolutely have to have a shot stop. He talked about, because we all lauded him after the game. He said, well, you guys are aware I did give up 14 goals. But to me, it seemed like when you guys were down in that first game, I think you were down by 4 goals. I think it was 11-7. And you guys ripped off that 7-goal stretch. There were times where there was extreme pressure and shots, and Mike just seemed to come up with one big stop after another.
You're right. He has. He's been a clutch goalie all season long, and he even took it a step farther, and he left his full-time job just to focus on winning this world championship.
Wow.
And there's a testimony right there. You put all your heart and soul into something, and that's what he did, and this is what he's accomplished with it.
So what will be the new preparation going into this upcoming season, being the champions? Are you guys going to do anything different or keep the same game plan going?
Well, we're the youngest team in the league, and we still are stockpiled with first-round draft pick this year. I don't think we're going to be trying to probably trade a lot of those, but this being the first time for me to be in a situation like this, I'm learning that, there are some guys that are going to retire after this. There are some guys that are going to, focus on their family. a handful of guys on the team have been around the league for a while, and this was kind of that final cap for them. And so you never know what's going to happen, but we'll be keeping the majority of the guys. We won't be making any trades, that's for sure. But there are going to be some guys that'll just decide to hang it up, and we'll have to address those issues. But we will have most of our team back.
Well, it sounds like you're a lot like the Falcons, man. You got some young guns coming in, some guys that can really get it done, and we could be looking, hopefully, at the start of a dynasty. Now, before you go, Andy, I do have to ask you the key question here. I know you guys had the big party already, but I'm thinking, when we're going to have the Gwinnett party celebration thing? Because, I like to attend those kind of things, just, to kind of chronicle them for history.
Yep. We're working on them. There's one actually coming up on Thursday at Taco Mac over by. I'm still learning my way around town.
I got you. No problem.
But I'll get you the information.
Please do. Yeah, we'd like to get out there and celebrate with you guys, man. It was just awesome being there for Game 1 of the finals, and really kudos to you and your marketing team, bringing in Ludacris, bringing a whole different, group of fans that I think that once they saw the game, I think you won over a whole new section of fans, man. So, again, kudos to you, and we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, especially being the executive of the team, to give us a call on the show. So we appreciate you, man.
It's my pleasure. We feel fortunate to have the opportunity. Thanks again for all the support, guys.
Have a blessed one.
Yes, sir.
You too.
Well, Ken, it's always nice to be a winner, brother, right?
Hey, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, well, we get some tacos, I think, out of this. That's a beautiful thing. All right, guys, as always, man, we've come to the end of our broadcast. Let's go around the booth and get some hold on a second, man. Hold on. Now, I already told you before this show started, I said, hey, I forgot my usual snacks. I'm really hungry. Now, what it appears to me you have done is you have somehow squirreled in undercover some type of snack, and when I was not looking on a break, you have fed yourself without offering the preacher a morsel.
It was just a Skittle,
That was more than just a Skittle.
Some Skittles,
You munching the whole show. Come on now.
It's some Skittles,
Hey,
I want my breath to be fresh.
The Skittles powers beast mode.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I had to get my beast mode on here tonight
I'm true. Go ahead,
to cover up my Cavaliers.
Let's get the wrap up. I'm true.
Hey, Miles T, Game Time Sports Talk Radio, Friday night, 8:30 to 9:30. Tune in. I'm going to tell you the real behind-the-scenes facts about Cavaliers basketball, baby.
Joke.
And
okay.
It ain't over. It ain't over.
So you're
we'll
holding
be back
back tonight?
Yeah, I'm holding back. I was saving it for Friday, John.
Right.
I was saving it. But live, laugh, love.
Okay.
Peace. Good night.
Reggie Brown, final appearance here in the booth before you head off to college. Amen.
Oh, I wouldn't say it's my final appearance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm rushing you off kind of quick.
Rushing him off kind of quick, bro.
I still got another 2 weeks before I leave. I don't know.
Oh, okay. No,
that warning shot, let me know.
Okay, well, there we go.
Thank you for everybody watching. Had a good time and stay safe.
BJ.
Roll Tide.
As always, love more, hate a little less.
All right, guys, you know what we like to do before we end every show. Remember, make sure your soul is right. Have that personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Make him your personal Savior today. Don't wait, because if you do, you'll be just like these guys. You'll be grateful, like me. God bless you, and good night.